So the priest was convinced that from day one, he and me, we had a connection. I don't know how, only God knows in his office. So as my father was talking to him, he wasn't, I thought he had a strange reaction in the way that he was acting in a strange way. Instead of listening to my father, who was talking to him about my situation, he was staring at me all the conversation, and I had nothing to do. I was just looking like, and I was looking outside, but I didn't know. So when my father left, my father asked him, I told him like, it would be nice if you really take care of her when it comes to the finance. When I send money, I will send money through you to pay to keep paying the school and the school or the no the dormitory of girls, because there were none there. There were nuns there, only nuns. We were surrounded by women there almost. So when a man was entering the premises of the dormitory of girls, you knew when a man was coming inside because it was only girls. They were very strict on that. So the priest said, "Oh, no problem, I will take her." And we went back in the apartment because my father uh, paid an apartment for a year for us to stay when we have like on holidays. My brother and I we go back to the apartment. Okay, we didn't go to host families anymore because of the experience we had. So we went back home, my father in the apartment, my father and I, because my brother were already at dormitory. So by the time I was getting ready, pay the uniform, the books that was required, everything, all the things that we need, which my father we pay everything, make sure that everything was ready. He also hired a man who was supposed to take care of our needs, like if we need something like going to the hospital or going to pay electricity bills, he will do that for us. I mean, he hired someone like a intendant. We say intendant. Someone. I will find the word in English. Okay, so it was taking care of stuff like that. So we were, because my father wanted us to focus on our studies, mostly. So we went there. And my father was trying to see my book because he was very strict on my studies too, my school. So he wanted to see if I understood the new chapter that I would be learning at school, in mathematics. Of course, I told you my father wanted me to be a science when I wasn't a science person, or I was completely the opposite. I was literature. I was in literature. I was in philosophy. I was in um, philosophy, I was in language, I was in, things that we really, stuff like that. And drawing, I like arts a lot. But I had to fall because you had to have at least a normal grade in sciences class because, yeah, you have no choice. Biology, chemistry and physics, geology, and all this you have to learn, and mathematics, algebra and stuff like that. In our high school, the program was very full. So my father left because he had to go. He has a job that he's required a lot of time and his own activities. He had other activities also on the side. He was a very busy person, and my mom too. So my father left, but in the meantime, we met a guy. He was from my country, a young guy. He was very important for my life at that period of my life. He was older than me. I think he was in a private school, like university, but a private school, I think. You know, um, in a private, he was going to the private school, like in university, stuff like that. I don't know. But he was in IT. He was studying something in IT. That guy was like a brother, an elder brother to me that God gave me in also there because my brother was stuck in the military. So he was taking a very important role in my life. So I don't know how my father met him, but he told me, no, I want you to be in contact with him. So when he came home, he went to visit us in my apartment, and my father told him, no, you have your young sister. I mean, when he said yes, because we are from the same country, that's how we talk in Africa. You have your young sister. You should watch after. You should watch after her. You should look after her. Okay, she needs you. So he said, no problem. I will be coming to see. I will also be. I know the dormitory where she's going to go because there are also, I think, 3 girls from my country I was from, where I'm from, who are there. Okay, so I will put her in contact with them, and they will try to, to be around her, Anyway, so yeah, I will talk to you about the dormitory of girl later on. So he made sure when my father left, he took the other flight. He went back to Gabon. So my new friend, like the older brother, he came. Frank came to see me by night, almost night, because we were talking a lot. He wanted to know how was my hometown because he wasn't in Gabon for years. So it would be good to catch up with the news of the country. So we were talking, and I was in the kitchen. I was cooking, and he was sitting out of the kitchen. So there was a little space where he could be, and me I would be in the kitchen. So I was doing a little bit back and forth talking with him, and we were laughing. All of a sudden, we heard a noise, and we were like surprised. Someone entered the apartment without even, because we were on the other side of the apartment. Someone crossed the living room, we didn't know, and entered the hall and came through the place where I was cooking, the kitchen and the space we had. So my friend Frank was like, "What's going on?" "Oh, this is the priest. I am the priest. I'm the one in charge of taking care of her." He was like, "Yes, I understand, but that's really late at night, like an evening." It was almost like 8 p.m. He entered the apartment just like that. So we were surprised. Me too, I was surprised, like, "My father, hi, how are you?" And he said, "Yeah, I came to check if everything was fine with you." And I said, "Yeah, as you can see, I have my brother from my country who's here, and he's visiting me." I saw like he wasn't really happy about that, but I didn't really care because I was, when you're a teenager, that thing that you don't really see, you don't really care from that aspect. But he was like, he had a really strong reaction. And my friend Frank saw that. He said, "What's wrong with him? Like, is there any problem?" I said, "I don't know." Clearly, he came like that and announced, and he just came like that. I don't know. So they start talking, and he said, "Yeah, because tomorrow she's supposed to go to the dormitory because she's kind of late for school and dormitory." And he said, "Yes," and her father told me that I should be there for her. He said, "Oh, really?" And he said, "Yeah." Her father said that, and I said, "Yeah." My father said that Frank should be there and going to the dormitory with me, and because he knows some girls there that can be with me too, that can surround me, because we are from the same country. He said, "Oh, okay, no problem." So I was just checking, and I will see you tomorrow in the afternoon. I will take you to the dormitory tomorrow. I said, "No problem, my father. Thank you very much." And he left. So Frank was like, "How can a man?" I mean, they were almost the same age, like early 30 years or early. No, no, Frank was younger, a little bit younger. He was in his 20s, and the priest was probably in the early 30s. They weren't very far from age. I don't think they were very far in ages. So I was surprised. He was like, what is he doing at this time? 8 p.m. seemed to not announce himself before. I said, "I don't know. I don't know." The day after, Gerard, who was in charge of taking care of our stuff in the apartment, I had to let him know what need to be done in the apartment before I left. And he had to know where I was going and getting everything ready, cleaning around, because the apartment will be closed for months since we will go. I will be the last one leaving the apartment until we come back for holidays. So Gerard was supposed to go to the apartment sometimes and check in, and look, he was the intern. And I don't remember how to tell him what to do because there are things that he was supposed to check on. The other thing is, yeah, Gia was, he was a man, okay. I told him because I was calling him like that for some reason. He was very exhausted. He got tired and he went to sleep in the living room on the chair, something like that. He was like sleep. I mean, he was sitting because he wanted to make sure that I leave on time and other things. So he was sitting and then he fell asleep.